Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be talking about cultured foods for your bones or fermented foods for your bones. And I want to start with telling you a little bit about what osteoporosis is. It's a bone disease, and it occurs when the body loses too much bone, makes too little bone, or both. The results in the bones becoming weak like this is that they will break. And osteoporosis means porous bone. Now, the inside of your bone looks something like a honeycomb. And when someone has osteoporosis, the bone which forms the walls of that honeycomb gets smaller, and the spaces between the bones grow larger, and the outer shell of the bone gets thinner. Many people say this condition is caused by lifelong lack of calcium. Others say that low calcium intake can contribute to diminished bone density or early bone loss, but it also can increase risk of fractures. There's other contributing factors to it. I don't think that's just it. I think there's things like low vitamins, low minerals, the hormones that you make, poor digestion, the inability to detoxify frequently and effectively, and also a lack of certain nutrients. So I want to talk to you about some of the biggest contributors to increasing your bone health. And I don't really care what ailment it is that you have or that's bothering you. The body is always going to be listening to your thoughts, feeling your stress, and it creates a pharmaceutical of chemicals in your body based on what you're feeling. And I cannot overemphasize how much you feel and think about wellness affects your state of being. You can feel hopeful or you can feel despair, and both of these types of emotions will help or hurt you, and your body is always listening. Now, I've lived a long time, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. And turning your thoughts to hopefulness, and you just watch what happens, because I've done this. The website, this whole cultured food thing that I've been doing for so long, is a result of despair that made me train my mind to seek wellness. I don't have osteoporosis, but 21 years ago, I was in the pit of despair with other ailments in my health, and all that changed. And it really showed myself how miraculous our bodies are in healing us. And wellness should be the norm. And you should expect that. Your body is so miraculous. And maybe you've forgotten how many things that it does for you. It pumps like 1.5 gallons of blood every 60 seconds. It produces millions of blood cells that are made inside that bone marrow. And they are tasked with carrying the oxygen and removing the carbon dioxide from the body. They do so much. Your 2 kidneys filter your blood 24/7, which is about 180 liters a day. So each cell in the human body can endure tens of thousands of DNA lesions every day. And that's the kind of stress that can alter your DNA and program it to destroy body tissues, which can result in cancer. But luckily, the first line of defense against this disease is actually your own body. Enzymes are constantly checking DNA strands for signs of cancer and taking out and replacing damaged parts. So this is just a few of the things that your body does for you, all along with repairing your bones, keeping them strong, but it needs your help too. And it helps you to look at the choices that you can do to make better choices to strengthen your bones and help your body be that magnificent body that it can be. So here are 6 ways that you can help with bone density. So I wrote an article, maybe it was a month ago, about vitamin K2 in cultured foods. And vitamin K2 is very predominant. It's a very big part of your gut, and it's really just microbial origin in your body, the vitamin K2. It's made by your microbes. And it's produced by the gut bacteria, and does this in the large intestine, and many researchers suspect that broad spectrum antibiotics contribute to a mass amount of the K2 deficiency that they see. Vitamin K2 helps form very strong bones. It helps your skin stay healthy. It helps with the prevention of wrinkles, sagging skin, varicose veins. It's very important. And cultured foods such as sauerkraut or cultured vegetables in general, cheese, natto contains substantial amounts of vitamin K2. and the body easily absorbs this. It's also found in things like kefir and in butter, that when you get your butter from a cow who's been eating rapidly growing green grasses, or alfalfa in a very lush state, this commercial butter that you get at the stores is not the same thing. You want butter that is made from cows eating rapidly growing grass, or you can get it from cheeses. And I have a whole article on this that teaches you more about vitamin K2, how to get it, what foods it's in. It's very, very important. Now, the second way you can really increase, and I think this is one of the most important, bone density is with L-Reuteri yogurt. I have had so many emails about people increasing muscle mass when taking L-Reuteri yogurt, and that includes myself. And the special process of fermentation for this yogurt, along with the specific strains of L-Reuteri, creates very high doses of L-Reuteri. It increases testosterone levels, which is a hormone which helps you to build muscle quite rapidly. And in turn, those extra muscles that you build increase your bone density because they have to support them. And L-Reuteri has been found to reduce age-related bone loss in women 75 to 80 years old who had low bone density. And I have some research for that if you'd like to see that, and that'll be on the article. And I think one of the most important foods you can add to your diet if you're struggling with bone loss is L-Reuteri yogurt. It is very effective for not only helping with bone density, but also with helping with muscle mass, increasing your hormone levels to where they should be so they can help you build that. And it also has a host of other benefits like deep sleep, oxytocin, skin looks better, your hair looks better. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite cultured foods. Okay, now the number 3, magnesium. There have been a lot of studies that have been carried out since 2009 on magnesium and its relationship with bone. And it has been shown over and over again that low levels of magnesium are related to the presence of osteoporosis, and that about 30 to 40% of the subjects that they analyzed, and those were mainly menopausal women, have hypomagnesium. Magnesium, I think is how you say it. This is an electrolyte disturbance that is caused by low serum magnesium levels. And it's been ongoing for a long time, this research. I know of no better way to get more magnesium than to get it through the skin with a very high grade quality magnesium. And it takes in what you need and no more. It is very effective. I use it all the time. I wrote a big article about it. Magnesium is the one mineral that I really need. It has been a huge force in my life. I think I've had low magnesium levels since I was a young woman. I think it's one of the reasons I had trouble with having premature infants, and that's a very common thing. They had to give me massive amounts of magnesium in the hospital, and I think it caused a lot of problems. So from that day to this, I always take care of my magnesium levels. And the skin works the best way. I take magnesium baths, or you can use the oils and gels. There's a new muscle recovery that I found that I'm selling from Health and Wisdom. I love their products. They have one of the highest grade magnesiums on the market, and I can attest to it. It works really, really well. And you can just spray it on, or I like the baths because I like to take a bath. And I mean, it's funny because I always notice a difference after I do it. I make sure to do that or put the oil on 3 times a week, maybe sometimes more. It makes such a difference. And it's, there's a lot of magnesium supplements on the market, but if you don't get the right ones, they can be hard on you, and they also can be ineffective. But when you do it, getting it through your skin, it works so much better. The body takes in what it needs and no more. And it does work very, very well. It will drop my blood pressure really fast. I mean, it's like, it just calms everything down in my body. I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time too. I've been using magnesium. I've taken it for over 2 decades because I seem to struggle with hanging on to magnesium. That seems to be something I struggle with. So I've always supplemented it. But I found that doing it through the skin was the best way to do it. And these products I love, I started selling them because I use them so much, and because I think so many people, like 75 to 80% of the population, is low in magnesium, and they don't even know it because it's hard to know. But it really does make a difference. So, and you can get, make sure you get magnesium chloride, which is such a fabulous way for your body to absorb magnesium. So, and I have more articles about that. You can check that out. It's something I think everybody needs to be aware of. Number 4, poor digestion. Nothing will help you more to digest the nutrients from your foods than cultured foods. All of these foods are pre-digested and help to digest all the nutrients from the foods you eat with them. So if you have a spoonful of cultured vegetables with a sandwich, you're going to digest the nutrients in that sandwich much more than you would had you not had that spoonful of cultured vegetables. And same with kombucha or some kefir or whatever cultured food. It will help you to digest your foods because these cultured foods are loaded with enzymes that they're basically pre-digested, so they really help you break down the other foods too. For instance, sauerkraut and kimchi contain beneficial nutrients for the bone, such as dietary fiber, but they also have vitamin K2, vitamin B, manganese, phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium, and these vitamins and minerals are essential for building bone. Kefir, yogurt, or fermented cheeses are also loaded with calcium and magnesium, along with extra vitamin B and C, and allow superior absorption due to the enzymes and the probiotics that are contained within them. They're just going to help you more because of the nature of the food. For instance, the vitamin C in cultured vegetables goes from plain cabbage being 70 milligrams to 700 milligrams per cup of cultured vegetables when you ferment it. And it does the same thing with the kefir. It really transforms the food into a completely different food. So each food is unique. Each will benefit the bones and the body in different ways, but they all will help you digest your foods. They also help detox you from harmful substances and load your gut with beneficial microbes that, there are so many studies going on and on, research showing how microbes are so beneficial for bone health. And I have a really good article called The Trilogy, which is about kefir, kombucha, and cultured vegetables, and how they really changed my life and what a difference they can make when you start adding them to your diet. Number 5, detoxing and keeping balance. If you can support your body's natural detoxing abilities, it will greatly help your bones. Since your liver is one of their biggest detoxifier, when it is stressed, it can lead to decreased bone formation. It also can lead to increased bone reabsorption, an increased risk of fracture, and an inability to flush those toxic invaders from your body. And it makes everything harder for your body when your liver is stressed. Now, kombucha, can be made with green tea, and green tea is rich in antioxidants. You can also make it with black tea, but green tea has more antioxidants, which increases the body's ability to burn fat as fuel, but it also improves bone mineral density and strength. And I have some research on that too. It's really interesting. And it would be great help to you, not only to your liver, but your whole body. It's really good for you. And kefir also boosts the immune system, but is a very powerful detoxifier. There's more than 50 good probiotics in strains of microbes in kefir, and they will colonize the body. They will load your body with calcium and magnesium. It removes pathogens, reestablishes the proper strains of microbes throughout the body. And kefir helps your liver function greatly. It assists the liver in detoxification. So I highly recommend kefir and kombucha for your detoxing, and it's delicious. It's something I do every day, and I love it. Now, the last one is weight-bearing exercises. And many, many people are leading a sedentary lifestyle, which can be another cause of osteoporosis, particularly if you're not doing any weight-bearing exercises. But it's really important as you get older to be doing some kind of regular weight-bearing exercises or resistance training or something that gets your body moving. And you don't have to do a lot. I mean, if you're prone to having problems, you can always use light weights or just use your own weight as a something to strengthen the bone, strengthen the muscle, which will strengthen the bone. And I have always been a big believer in this since my late 30s. I've added weight training to my life. It made a huge difference when I was younger, and it continues to keep me young and strong. It also helps me to keep my hormones because they can diminish as you age. It keeps those because they're basically what you're doing when you're lifting weights or when you're exercising is you're telling your body to build muscle, and that requires hormones. So the body tells the body to make more hormones to make those muscles bigger. And it just keeps you younger. It works fabulous. It's so important, especially as you age. Muscle contractions are the strongest mechanical force on your bones of anything. And these muscle contractions condition your bone density, strength, and the microarchitecture of the internal structure of your bones. They build the bone, and they're very smart at doing it. One of the things that really supports this, again, is L-reuteri yogurt. It creates oxytocin that signals all kinds of body and bone-building hormones. And I have experienced this myself, and I've gotten so many emails about this. I am stronger than ever, and I'm completely in love with this cultured food L-reuteri yogurt that really is keeping my muscles strong and helping me to stay in a much better place. And you guys, this is just food. This isn't drugs. This isn't, anything with a side effect. This is just food that your body needs that gives you vitamins and minerals and probiotics and nutrients to keep everything functioning well. Because you're made of what you eat. So you want to really be more mindful as you get older as to what strengthens your body and what hinders your body. And these foods go a long way in helping to repair not only your bones and your muscles and everything else, but it helps to detoxify you. It keeps your mind strong. It keeps your emotions in check because a lot of the serotonin is made in your gut. It does a million things. That's why I write so many articles, because I never thought that food could be as powerful as it was till I met these cultured foods. So I would recommend starting with what seems to most interest you. You don't have to do them all at once. I didn't do that. I just started with kefir. That was where I started, and then I kind of progressed as I got, more familiar with the foods. And I always pick the one that most interests me because I think that's the one you need the most. Do it slowly. Do it, however pace you want to go. And you don't need a lot. You don't have to only eat these foods. You can these are really in the, like kefir is my breakfast almost every day. That with L-reuteri. I make a kefir and L-reuteri smoothie almost every day. And then, I usually have kombucha sometime during the day or kefir soda. I love that too. That has similar properties. And some cultured veggies, I don't even have those every day, probably every other day. Well, I have had them every day this week because I've been eating a lot of fermented pickles. So, but just, getting to know all these things and just learning what your body needs to stay strong and healthy and to make sure your mind is healthy and to get out there and exercise, even if it's just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. And you don't have to do a lot. You don't have to start with a lot. Just do what you can and go from there. Your body is miraculous because you can start doing something. You can become a master at something in a very short amount of time. Your body adapts very, very quickly. And that's what the great thing about this miraculous body we live. We take it for granted. It's pretty amazing the things that it does for us. And keeping it strong with these foods and a little bit of exercise and keeping your mind strong and looking for wellness, it is the greatest way to live your life. It'll make all the difference for you. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll tune in next time. Thank you.